afternoon, students. So in this video I'll be starting with child health nursing. And the child health nursing, the topic which I'll be taking, it is mainly disorders of neurological system in children. So what are the disorders that is usually commonly seen in children? That is, what are the common neurological disorders that is seen in children? Like it might be meningitis, encephalitis, convulsions or head injury. So these are the common head disorders that is usually seen, neurological disorders that is usually seen in case of children. So we'll start with the topic like neurological disorders in children. So mainly the disorders we'll start with, it is meningitis. As you all know, what is meningitis? Meningitis, it is nothing but inflammation of the meninges. What is this meninges? Meninges, it is nothing but covering of the brain and spinal cord. Okay, what is this meninges? Meninges is nothing but covering of the brain and spinal cord. So as this meningitis is usually designated as bacterial because it is mainly caused by bacteria, and in few cases it might be caused by virus, or in few cases it can be caused by leukemia. Okay, it can be caused by leukemia. So that is usually about this meningitis. So meningitis, it is nothing but inflammation of the meninges. So meninges, it is nothing but the brain. Meninges, it is nothing but the meninges. It is nothing but the covering of the covering of the brain and spinal cord. So this meninges, it is meningitis. It is usually known as bacterial because it is usually caused by bacterial, and in few cases it is caused by virus, and in the other cases it might be caused due to this one. What is that? Leukemia. Okay, it can be caused due to leukemia. So that is usually about this meningitis. So this meningitis, it is usually a fatal disease. Okay, this is usually a fatal disease because it is the common cause of illness in pediatric population. Okay, because it is significant cause of illness in the pediatric population. Okay, this meningitis, it is usually a fatal disease. Okay, it can be a fatal disease because it significantly cause of cause of illness in pediatric population. Okay, pediatric population. In case of, if the child is younger than 2 months, okay, if the child is younger than 2 months, the major cause of this meningitis, it will be streptococci, group B streptococci and E. coli. Okay, about 70% of the cases of meningitis which is caused in the children below 2 months. Okay, about 70% of the cases which is caused by about 70% of the cases of this meningitis in children younger than children less than 2 months. The causative organism will be E. coli and group B streptococci. Okay, E. coli and group B streptococci. And after 2 months, okay, after 2 months, the cause for this meningitis, it will be H. influenza B. Okay, it will be H. influenza B, meningococci and pneumococci. Okay, meningococci and all, and pneumococci. So in 70% of the cases of this meningitis, if it is affecting infants like below 2 months, the causative organism will be group B streptococci or E. coli, and after 2 months it might be like H. influenza B, or in case of like pneumonia, or it can be meningococci. So this is about this meningitis. So meningitis is nothing but inflammation of meninges. What is meninges? Meninges, it is the covering of the brain and spinal cord. This meningitis, it is designated as bacterial because it is caused by bacteria. Majority of the cases it is caused by bacteria, and few cases it can be due to virus, or it can be due to leukemia. And next is usually like this meningitis, it is usually a fatal illness in the pediatric population because it is a significant cause of illness. Okay, it is significant cause of illness in the pediatric population. So this meningitis, if it is occurring below 2 months, like infants below 2 months, and the causative organism will be about like group B streptococci or E. coli, and if it is affecting about 2 months, okay, infants above 2 months, then it will be the causative organism is H. influenza B or meningococci and pneumonia. So that is usually about this thing. So next is causes. So what are the causes of this meningitis in children? So causes can be, it might be due to diabetes mellitus. Okay, it can be due to diabetes mellitus, or in case of if there is any malignancy. Okay, or if there is any malignancy, if they are like they're usually taking immunosuppressive drugs. Okay, if they are taking usually immunosuppressive drugs, or in case of upper respiratory tract infection, or in case of this are suffering from otitis media, or if there is any head injury. Okay, or if there is any head injury. Okay, these are the causes of this meningitis in the children. So that is in case of otitis media, upper respiratory tract infection, head injury, or if there is any use of immunosuppressive drugs, or in case if they are diabetes mellitus. Okay, so these are usually the causes of this meningitis. So next is types of meningitis. So types of meningitis, it is usually includes like bacterial meningitis and non-bacterial meningitis. Okay, so the cause of it is mainly bacterial meningitis or non-bacterial meningitis. So bacterial meningitis, it is usually acute inflammation of the meninges as well as central nervous system. Okay, it is the acute inflammation of the meninges as well as central nervous system. Okay, so types, it is mainly bacterial meningitis or non-bacterial meningitis, and in case of bacterial meningitis, it is usually an acute inflammation of the meninges and CNS, that is central nervous system. And non-bacterial meningitis, it is usually aseptic meningitis which is caused by number of agents. Okay, non-bacterial meningitis, it is usually a aseptic meningitis which is caused by many number of agents like virus or frequently associated with other diseases like HIV, leukemia or any measles, mumps. So this is usually about this non-bacterial meningitis. So bacterial meningitis, it is caused by bacteria and it is usually an acute inflammation of the meninges as well as central nervous system. And non-bacterial, it is usually which is not caused by bacteria, it is aseptic meningitis which is mainly caused by viruses and frequently other disorders like HIV and leukemia. So that is usually about this, or it can be due to fungus also. So that is usually about this, like Candida albicans. So that is usually about this bacterial meningitis and non-bacterial meningitis. So types, it is mainly bacterial meningitis and non-bacterial meningitis. So what are the symptoms that is usually seen? Symptoms, it is mainly like headache will be there, malaise, abdominal pain will be, they will be having, vomiting will be there, sore throat will be there, and also photophobia, that is like they will be having fear to light. So that is also there. And also they will be having rashes will be present. Okay, rashes will be present, fever will be there, and also they will be having gastrointestinal symptoms like nausea, vomiting, or they might be having back pain and leg pain. Okay, they might also have back pain and leg pain, chest pain will be there. So that is usually about this clinical symptoms that is usually seen. Okay, clinical symptoms that is usually seen. So what are the symptoms that is usually seen? Like abdominal pain, fever, malaise, headache, gastrointestinal symptoms like nausea, vomiting, diarrhea will be there, back pain and leg pain will be there, as well as like rashes will be present. Okay, maculopapular rashes will be present all over the body, and also they will be having chest pain. Okay, these are usually symptoms of this meningitis. Okay, symptoms of this meningitis. So that is usually about this thing. And next is diagnostic findings. What are the diagnostic findings? We'll go with history collection and physical examination. So same thing, history collection and physical examination will be done, and also they'll be going with lumbar puncture test. Okay, also they'll be going with lumbar puncture test where CSF will be collected to check out the presence of any infection. Okay, to check out the presence of infection, because if meningitis is present, then CSF will be in, bacteria can be seen in the CSF fluid. So therefore CSF should be collected. So that is usually done. And next, blood culture. Okay, blood culture, it is mainly seen to know the exact organism that is caused this meningitis. So that is usually done. Then this is usually about the diagnostic evaluation that we go. So it is mainly history collection, physical examination. Then we go with lumbar puncture test. CSF fluid will be collected and it will be sent for culture. Blood culture will be done. Okay, this is usually about this diagnostic evaluation. So what is the management that we have to do? Management is nothing but isolating the baby. Okay, we have to just isolate the kid, and then we have to start with antibiotic therapy, and this is usually started intravenously. Okay, we have to start with antibiotic therapy, and this is usually started with intravenously. What is usually started intravenously. Then ampicillin should be administered. Okay, ampicillin should be administered, and then chloramphenicol and penicillin should also be administered. Okay, chloramphenicol and penicillin should also be administered. So that is usually there. And in case of if it is E. coli is suspected, okay, if there is if the meningitis it is caused by E. coli, okay, if meningitis is caused by E. coli, then we have to go with aminoglycoside should be given with ampicillin. Okay, there should be combination of aminoglycoside with ampicillin should be given. Okay, aminoglycoside with the ampicillin should be given if the E. coli is the causative organism which is causing this meningitis. So that is usually there. And next we have to go with, these are usually the medical management that we go. So medical management mainly includes isolation, start with antibiotics intravenously. So what are the medication that we give? Ampicillin will be given, chloramphenicol or like chloramphenicol or penicillin is administered. If it is due to E. coli, then we go with aminoglycoside with ampicillin will be administered. So this is about this medical management. So what are the preventive measures that we have to take? Okay, what are the preventive measures that we have to take? So preventive measures that we have to take is that nothing but vaccination should be given. Okay, vaccination should be given. So that is 4 meningococcal vaccines should be given, administered. Okay, 4 meningococcal vaccines should be administered. This is administered over 2 years of age. Okay, this vaccination is given to the baby over 2 years of age. So preventive measures that we have to take is that we have to go with meningococcal vaccination, like 4 vaccinations should be given, and this is usually given about 2 years of age. Okay, this is usually given about 2 years of age. Okay, this is usually about this meningitis. So meningitis is nothing but inflammation of the meninges, which is the membrane covering the brain and spinal cord. This is mainly caused by bacterial, and few cases it can be due to viral or other diseases, and majority it is caused by diabetes mellitus, or if there is any head injury, so that is usually, or if there is taking immunosuppressive drugs. So all this thing reason for this causing of this meningitis. The types, it is mainly bacterial and non-bacterial. And then clinical symptoms, it might be pain will be there, like back and leg pain will be there, malaise will be there, abdominal pain will be there, headache will be there, gastrointestinal symptoms like nausea and vomiting will be there, chest pain will be there. So these are usually symptoms that is usually seen. Diagnosis, this is nothing but lumbar puncture test, CSF culture should be done, blood culture should be done, and also we have to go with history collection and physical examination should be done. Management is nothing but in like administration of antibiotics, and then prevention, administration of vaccines. So this is about this meningitis.